I have 2 strikes, so I cannot post until October 12th, or my account will probably get deleted forever. So I decided I'm going to run out of podcast space, invite my friends, and we're going to do a sick podcast where we answer all your guys' questions to be this week's content. That way you guys don't get radio silence and I don't get taken off YouTube. Yeah, we got Ian and Jackson here. I know you guys haven't seen them before, but Jackson is actually one of the main characters of the next Mckamey Manor episode that's coming out. So he has actually been through Mckamey Manor also. He knows all about Russ, so he's going to be perfect for this podcast. And we got Ian, who is now helping me big time with the editing, and he's going to be kind of like appearing in all of our adventures. I want an editor to come adventure with us, and Ian's also just like a sick friend, so that's why he's here. So start seeing their faces a lot more, I guess. But I know it does look like it's kind of quiet on my channel right now, but I cannot say that we are working the hardest we've ever worked. And this next video is going to be, I don't want to say it's the nail in the coffin for Mckamey Manor, but it might be the nail in the coffin for Mckamey Manor. I don't know.
I mean, I haven't even seen the episode that you edited yet, but I'm hearing that it could be like literally your best video probably you've ever created.
It's going to be like, this is like a Sundance film documentary for sure. But
I mean, I believe it. You're literally the best editor, one of the best editors. I got to say one of the best now because we have a new editor here. But like just working with Ben for like almost
this man's crying
almost
right
2 years now, I'm like so inspired by what he does.
Oh, thanks, Danny.
Well,
the first question is, it's kind of hard to read. Is there?
I didn't know the question.
There we go.
Right there.
Is there anything that they do to help afterwards? Do they at least give you clean clothes or anything like that, or do they basically just kick you out covered in mud with whatever crap they put you on?
Oh, I feel like Jackson. Okay, Jackson. When you were done with your tour, what did Russ do right away?
So right when I was done with my tour, Russ said, "Okay, well, nice to see you." Shook my hand and went back inside.
Yeah. I will say this. He does get towels for everyone, right? Like he requests, I mean, obviously he tells you to bring your own towels, but he does at least say like, hey, you will be dirty. Like if you don't want to get your car dirty, bring towels. You have to buy them yourself, but at least he is decent enough to do that. So that is a positive in his direction. But yeah, he does kind of just send you back home. It's just like,
he's just
we just got done torturing you. Go back home now.
You said your Uber's on the way? I said, yeah.
Okay. Next question. We got, could you talk a little more about what his live streams are like? What kind of people tune into them regularly? Do you think it's a fetish for them also? I think it's split 50-50. I think, because I used to be like kind of a fan of Mckamey Manor, you know, and obviously I didn't see it as a fetish for me. I saw it as like, I just want to know what's inside this thing. Like, this is like the most mysterious haunted house in the world. I want to see what's inside this. And so you only see what Russ puts out. And so you're kind of watching the video, or at least I was watching the videos, hoping he would like slip up and show something that's inside the haunted house. That was my take on it. And so I feel like a lot of the people are watching because of that. Maybe some people are hate watching it just because they want to like see Russ burn. And then maybe there's a small fraction of people that get off on it. But I think the majority of people are just curious of what's inside, and they just are like, the more I watch, the more I'll find out about what's actually goes on inside this place.
Wait,
you know?
No, I don't think fans are getting off on it. I think they were asking, does Russ get off on it?
No, they were asking what fans. Yeah, that was the question.
I read that wrong, and I don't think fans are having a fetish to watch this. I don't think so.
Yeah, what type of people tune into the?
I don't know.
I'd
say there's maybe like, if 100 people tune in, maybe 3 or 4 of them had weird fetishes about it. But I think the majority of people are either hate watching it because they hate Russ, or they are just curious about what's inside it.
Or it's just like a cult, and they're just brainwashed that like this is amazing content to watch.
Or they're just brainwashed that they think everything's real, and they're like, oh my gosh, like there's probably a good 10% that I'd say is brainwashed also.
I mean, it is a Facebook live stream.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is a
think about the demographic of people that still use Facebook regularly, other than us when it comes to trolling Mckamey Manor.
I'm just curious that Facebook's allowing this to even be up. Like,
well,
that's
it's a
crazy.
private group. I think that's how they're getting away with it. Because not just anybody can stumble upon it.
Yeah,
that's true.
And if you report it, if they find you're a hater, they kick you out, so there's not really anyone to report it, you know? Okay, what's the next question? We got, okay.
I already answered that a little bit.
Okay. Do you think the haunted house was ever legitimate, or do you think it was always a scam?
This comes up on TikTok a lot.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the...
the California location was probably a thing or something. and then they just like budget cuts.
I feel like Ben knows the best answer for this one.
I mean, so obviously I didn't go through. I went through it in Tennessee. I was not there when he was in California. But you're right. The claim is that at one point this used to be a crazy haunted house. All the stunts were real, and then all his actors quit. He lost all his props, and now he runs this scam in Tennessee of what once was an amazing haunted house. Is what the general population assumes to believe from like reading the comments. But in my opinion, I think it was always a scam. So obviously it used to be what they call a boo haunt. So you walk through, it's just like your average thing. Like when you walk through like a haunted house.
Yeah, horror nights.
Yeah. And so it's nothing like crazy. It's nothing different than that. It's just like, oh, cool. And then the moment he started filming it, that's when it became a scam. So anything you see on YouTube, because when it was actually a legitimate haunted house, he wasn't filming everyone that went through. So that's all that was like kind of a real haunted house, but there's no footage of that. And then the moment he started filming it was the moment they're like, okay, let's pretend like we have the scariest haunted house in the world, but really we're just going to beat you up. We're just going to waterboard you. And that's it. And he says that there's all these crazy contraptions and stuff. But even back in the day when it was supposed to be like with all the actors and stuff, there was no crazy contraptions.
Just him in his garage.
It was literally him in his garage. And no, not just his garage, also his backyard.
Oh yeah. His backyard in San Diego. There's 2 backyards.
There was a little kiddie pool that they had that they would do the waterboarding in. There was a little kiddie pool, they had a tarp over it, and they would dunk their head in the water and say they're going through like some crazy contraption. They're like, we spent millions of dollars creating this contraption and stuff, and it's just a little kiddie pool in his backyard. So even when there was actors, there was actors, and they had all the makeup, they had Halloween props and stuff, but nothing he said that the people were doing is what they were actually doing, from my understanding.
What got me so confused the more I looked into this is that I'm sure he was charging people for the California boo haunt experience. What a crazy twist that a lot of people were asking on TikTok as well is that he just does this out of the kindness of his heart.
The kindness?
It would be one thing to keep this up if he was profiting big, to lie to you maybe the waiting list isn't that long, he's huge budget cuts, it's just him now filming and doing this, but it would be one thing if he was making a bunch of money, then it's you do you, guy, but it's you show up with the props. He just loves this. So
that is the story that he likes to spread on social media. Is I'm doing this from the goodness in my heart. I'm doing this for the passion because I love it's people love getting scared, and I can bring them that joy. That's the story that he likes to say. I'm the good guy, Russ. People want this, and I'm the good guy who gives it to them. But basically, if you actually look at any actor or any person that's ever gotten actually close to Russ, they'll all say that Mckamey Manor is to fulfill his fetish instead of actually providing the person going through a good experience. Because I think there's a lot of extreme haunts out there, and the goal is always, let's give this person the greatest show ever so they can walk away home happy. That's the mentality of every extreme haunt that I've ever looked into. And they all hate Mckamey Manor because Mckamey Manor has flipped the script where it's, now this isn't for your amusement, it's for my amusement. And so that's what separates Mckamey Manor from all the other extreme haunts, from everything that I've heard, at least. I've never done any other extreme haunts. We're going to do one soon, is the plan. But
we need 12 people though. So
yeah,
I'm coming.
If you're over 18,
yeah, Jackson's coming. Me, Jackson, and Danny are
we
doing
need maybe 10
Just
people
look
now.
straight at the cameras.
But
if you're over 18, hit us up.
Yeah, so I guess then we'll be able to say for sure. But from what we've heard, that's what has been told to us, at least.
Oh wait, do you have to be 18 or 21 to do?
I think you got to be 21.
Okay, sorry.
If you're over 21,
also, I don't think just anyone can apply. I think it's got to be someone we're chill and tight with. You know?
Okay, sorry.
It's not just anyone from
Don't apply.
It's
don't apply.
It's a very underground experience. You know, it's not I can just. I'm a fan of Reckless Ben. I'm extreme. I can go through this. It's you got to be they want them to be tight with us because it affects the storyline and everything of what they set up for us and stuff. And
wait, that's the scariest thing of all.
Yeah, they spend.
Are you coming through?
People?
They're spending. They said they're spending 3 months planning a storyline specifically for everyone who's involved with it for us. So they said it's gonna be very personal to our lives, whatever story. And apparently, we're all gonna actually think we're gonna die or something. I don't know, but is what they said. I don't know, but
invite Russ.
No, Russ would hate that.
Send him an invite.
Be like, yo, we heard you loved haunted
Be
houses.
We might bring one of the
obligated.
Jackass guys with us. I think that'd be funny. Because I've always thought it'd be funny. Someone who basically, I mean, even that was kind of the experiment with you, you know, like someone that takes pain and like takes these like crazy stunts, and then that's like their job, and then send them into Mckamey Manor.
Well, now we'll take it seriously at the next one.
Yeah.
So, dude, the next one's gonna be crazy because I know it's not a scam,
Yeah.
and so I wonder how far it can last.
I mean, see, when we were, what was that other question about? Like, was it? I don't know what it was. Whatever topic if it was legitimate or a scam. Definitely 100% scam, in my opinion, even back then, because like you said, it was probably just a backyard. And to go off one of your points about him being wanting to scare people, I wasn't scared a single second when I went through. I was just like,
you look tired.
I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, this is just...
You look bored and tired.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't... Like, okay, you're making me carry 200 pounds on my back. And then he's like, do a jumping jack. And I'm like, that's impossible. Find me one 400-pound person to do a jumping jack.
I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but like there's one part, and when you go through, and it's probably one of the most funniest things I've ever seen. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Just say it, and then we'll just bleep over it, and ittle be funny because then they'll try to think of what it is.
Oh yeah, because this isn't live. We were gonna do a YouTube live actually, and then we got to the podcasting room, and we tried logging onto my YouTube. It's like, nope, you have 2 strikes, you can't go live. So I guess we have to do these edited things. Yeah, we can't edit it.
Because your TikTok's blowing up right now. What if you go live on TikTok?
Oh, we could maybe. Yeah, I could be down.
No, I'm not kidding. Like people do really well on that.
Why do you think you will succeed in exposing Russ where others have failed?
Why I'm up here today, but I can't say why.
Yeah. How do we talk about this without giving spoilers?
I feel like just do that.
Yeah, talk about it,
No,
and then
No, you can't.
Let's answer this question based on what's already out online.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, like, why have we gotten as far as we have? And like, because so far everyone pretty much has always been like, oh, I can't say anything bad about Russ or his cult will come after me, and they always get scared and they end up lying online. There's multiple examples of people publicly online saying like, Mckamey Manor was the best experience of my life. I'm so glad I did this. And then when really behind closed doors, they would say, I'm hated Mckamey Manor, but I'm terrified of what happens to me if I say the truth. So why are we different? Like, what makes us special to actually come out and say the truth? Is I think what they're asking. And like, what did we do differently? I don't know.
you just don't care about any kind of consequences.
Yeah, I guess for me too, like it does help being an influencer because it is like, okay, whatever Russ does to me, of course I'm just gonna use it as content. And it's just him backlashing me is actually benefiting me, where to maybe some other people who have a 9-to-5 job, the backlash and harassment they get gets them fired from their job, where for me it actually helps my job because it's like, oh, now I get more views, now that's better. So I think it kind of boils down to that. That's, I don't know, what do you
honestly though, I think after going after Scientology and walking away, you're chilling.
Yeah.
That's
Just make a statement and be like, if I'm not suicidal, if I end up dead tomorrow.
Right, if you go missing people,
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say Mckamey Manor, I feel like they have less to lose than Scientology, though. You know what I mean? Like, Scientology is not going to go after me at the end of the day because they have an image to uphold, and they're $1 million business that could go. There's a lot of people that could go bankrupt if they make the wrong move. So they kind of were just like, okay, this reckless Ben guy seems crazy. Let's just kind of not harass him like we usually harass people. But Mckamey Manor, he doesn't have much to lose. You know, like I mean.
But I feel like
he might lose his whole haunted house if he doesn't go after us. So
He has a haunted house?
that's funny.
I mean, he's just going to go back to his life at Walmart, you know?
But I think he has less to lose, so he might be more willing to like go further than like Scientology would go, you know? And just my personal opinion, but that's what makes Mckamey Manor scary, at least. And yeah, if we successfully took down Mckamey Manor and made sure no one went through again, I'm sure there would be consequences to us, you know, and because I'm sure he would be he would not let that happen. He would do everything to not let that happen. But I guess that's just something we'll have to see in a later episode, I guess, you know. Okay, what's the next question? Why is this dude not in jail yet? Like, how has he not gotten popped on something? Fraud, assault, the alleged blank stuff, like nasty stuff he's doing. They're like, he's got to have done something. I don't know, I want to hear what you guys' opinions are first before I weigh in.
For me, like it looks like, I mean, anybody interested in something like this, they're like, oh, I'm gonna sign up for the scariest thing ever. Hope I like make it through. Then they sign the NDA and it's all like super official. And then they do it, and I feel like the feelings they have afterwards are, yikes. I don't actually know if this is a great example, but I'll say it to you guys and we'll cut it if it doesn't work. But it's the same kind of philosophy that people who have issues deal with, which is like, well, it's got to be kind of my fault. Like, I decided to do all this, and so when it ends up being the worst thing you ever experienced, you're not like, wait, that was objectively wrong or weird. That's kind of on me. I feel like that's why people are like, I mean, and again, people were so eager to talk to you when you called them up.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, no, I'm glad you think it's fucked.
No,
I think people want to come forward, but like I'm talking about in my next episode about how he threatens people with $50,000 lawsuits.
Exactly.
Like if you're gonna talk bad about Mckamey Manor, and so that scares them to come out, and then his name's still good because no one's coming out and exposing him.
And that goes back
he's
to
never
like,
dealt with Reckless Ben and Danny Burke before.
yeah, and that goes back to you guys having like not only a platform but your job being this.
Yeah.
This is your job, because again, if somebody like me was to do this by myself and saw the contract, would be like, see, that's too much of a risk. So everybody else that's ever gone through has probably said the same thing. They're like, that's too much of a risk. Even if it was the worst experience of my life, which many people that you guys have interviewed and hit you up about have said, it's like, that was the worst thing I've ever done. But I had to say nice things about her, or else he would have come after me. There's always that level of fear. That's the scariest thing about Mckamey Manor, is the fear that they instill in you with the contract.
Yeah, I actually agree with both of you. I know I have talked to people and I was like, why didn't you go to the police about this? And they're like, well, because I did go to the police, but at the end of the day, like I signed up to do this. Like this is all my fault because I fell for his scam. But I don't think that's how it should be. Like if you fall for a scam, I don't think that you should be that should be your fault. You know, it's like say someone scam calls you and they're like, oh, enter all your credit card digits. It's like, yeah, you fell for that and you willingly gave them your credit card, but
they're
it was
still
under false
scamming you.
it was under false pretenses. They lied to get that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I think Mckamey Manor is a scam, because he lied to get this pain fetish thing that you like. Obviously they're not giving him money, but they're giving him like suffering and pain and broken bones, and that's their cost. Like either way, they're losing something. It might not be money, but like pain is still something that I wouldn't want to happen.
If it wasn't
you know?
falsely advertised, then I would get why someone can't like go forward and be like, I know what I'm getting into. But people go there.
Well, that's the thing, is they don't know what they're getting into.
No, that's what I'm saying. People are expecting something else.
Yeah, they. I mean, it's not even like misleading. It's like a complete lie. Like there's no way that any court could ever argue like that what he's telling is not 100% false advertising. In the same way that it would be false advertising for a scammer to call you as your grandma and say, hey, I just fell down, give me $10,000 for my hospital bill. Like that, I think Mckamey Manor is just as much of a false advertising scam as that is. Because obviously that person's not your grandma. They didn't fall down. I think they're both equal of lies, you know?
Yeah.
The next question asks, will Mckamey Manor ever be shut down because of your series? And will they receive any consequences from what you guys are doing? They say, I really hope something comes out of this. Keep it up, dude. So this is actually a big moral question that I've had with lots of people who have been through Mckamey Manor actually, and people that have kind of like experienced it. And the question always comes up is this, if you look at Russ's story, it goes from being like on surface level, it looks like this dude's evil. He tortures people, blah, blah, blah. But then you really zoom into his life and you can see it's actually like kind of sad, where he has nothing. Everyone he's ever like, all his actors, everyone he's ever worked with, all his girlfriends have all left him. He's all by himself. He doesn't have a haunted house, so he pretends like he has the greatest haunted house in the world. It's all a scam. And so it's like, that's the only thing he has. So it's like, would I morally feel okay with taking that away from him? Even if it's saving a lot of people from like being tortured and stuff. It's like, that's the moral question you have to think of, is like, dude, this guy's life is over at this point. Like, It's not. I know a lot of people have that same thing. They're like, he tortures people. Like, screw this guy, And a lot of people have that mentality where they're like, this guy sucks. Let's take everything away from him. I'd love to see this guy burn. I talked briefly to his ex-girlfriend, and she was like, I just literally want to see him dead. Like, not even in jail, but dead, pretty much. And a lot of people have that opinion where they just don't care. They're like, but.
I mean, he made his bed. He has to lay in it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, you're right. Like, I'm not the one that told him to go out and start torturing people, so I can't feel accountable for like his consequences. But if I was to take the haunted house away from him, like, that still is on me, I guess.
Again, there is no haunted house to take away.
But like his, like, what I mean? Like, if
you're gonna take away his torture thing?
Ability to bring people to his house to torture people. Yeah, I guess you're right. That is a good thing to do, to stop doing that.
I mean, I don't think you take away his ability to do that. You would just take away his ability to live stream it on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know. But then no one's gonna come if there's no live stream. So
exactly.
So
and then he won't want to do it, and then he can find another hobby.
Yeah, it is something to think about, though, I guess. I know probably 90% of the audience is just gonna be like, just who cares? Destroy Mckamey Manor. Whatever happens to Russ, throw him in jail. Blah blah blah. I don't care. I want to see him in jail. But I don't know. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion I have. But I'm not saying that's not necessarily what I want. But I guess I'm saying, like, I don't know what the best. I think either way, there's something bad that happened. Like, no matter what outcome, there's something bad. Either we destroy this guy's life, or people continue getting tortured, I guess. But there's no like ideal outcome, is what I'm saying, I guess. This could be one of the last questions. Do you think Russ genuinely thinks he's doing nothing wrong, or is his persona facade? Do you think, I guess the question is, does Russ think he's a bad person?
In my opinion, I feel like he probably knows. He has to know that what he's doing isn't the best. But I feel like he thinks it's okay because he has the waivers and all that kind of stuff, and all the people that, build him up and put him on this pedestal in his Facebook group.
But I guess the counter argument to that is, do you think he knows, he's like, oh, I can get away with this like fetish thing that I have, and I can trick people into coming. I know it benefits me and hurts them, but I'm going to do it anyways because it feels good for me.
Oh, 100%.
Or you think, because that would be not good, in my opinion. That would be a quality of a not good person, is to like benefit yourself at the cost of other people in doing that, just because it helps him feel good.
I mean, just
himself.
Look at all the people that he's brainwashed so far. And in the Facebook group, all the mods, all the everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the people that we've obviously kind of converted back.
Or do you think he justifies it because Hitler? There's arguments that Hitler even thought that he was a good person.
Whoa. Yeah.
No, I mean,
no, I know.
Lots of people actually probably agree with this. This isn't an unpopular opinion that Hitler and a lot of German people thought that Hitler was doing the right thing because he was like, "Hey, we're trying to purify the nation. This is going to be something that's good for the race of
Russ
German
is
people."
Hitler right now? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying that, like.
I'm just making it funny.
Everything happens. Yeah, no, I think everything happens for a reason, and Hitler happened for a reason, and Hitler happens because he thought he was doing a good thing.
So what you're saying is
clip that.
Yeah, clip it. So what you're saying is the events of the Nazi Party correlated to now Russ torturing people.
I think I'm basically saying evil people always have a justification for themselves.
Well, there you go.
And I think that's one example that like lots of historians can agree upon, even philosophers can agree on, that like evil people do evil for a reason. Like they say it could have been good intentions with Hitler too, like I want to purify the German people, but they say, what is it, like the path to hell is paved with good intentions or something.
Yeah.
So good intentions can lead you to a bad place. So I wonder if Mckamey Manor was built on good intentions. Or,
I feel like he's just a psychopath and he doesn't really care about anybody else's feelings at this point. Because I mean, there's plenty of videos, or there's that video even that Wolf posted on his Facebook page of Holly going through Rat Race. I don't know. That's psychopath behavior right there. And if you guys have seen that video, it's on Wolf's Facebook or YouTube page. Go look it up. It's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's a hard watch.
Yeah. It's apparently he had her test all of the equipment. He would have her test it, but it would be like, he'd be like, forcing her to do it against her will,
And
that
she'd be screaming, "Russ,
and he'd be like,
no."
"Stop it!" And he's like, "I have to test the equipment and stuff." And he would
Yeah.
just like force her to do all
And
the
this
like
is
waterboarding and stuff.
supposedly the woman that he is in love with.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I keep hearing over and over again that like he does it because he knows he can get away with it, and it is kind of like. It kind of reminds me of like a shoplifter, you know, like you steal something from a grocery store, like a little piece of candy, something that means nothing, and you get away with it. And you're like, oh, I just benefited off of something and there was no consequence. Like something good happened to me without the bad consequence happening. So I'm going to do it again. It's like, to me, I experienced a net good, so I'm going to do that again.
And just
so
keeps
I'm going to steal
building
something
and
bigger and
building
bigger
and
and bigger.
building.
Yeah, and then, so maybe that happened with Russ where he got away with, like, you know, like maybe back when his haunted house was first going, I think he would tell people that they were live streaming to Vegas, you know? And so he got away with that lie. You know, he's like, we're live streaming to Vegas. He got away with it. He got a little bit of adrenaline, like, oh, I just told someone that they're being live streamed to Vegas. And then, so now he gets away with something else. And then eventually, you're right, now he's forcing his girlfriend to be tortured against her will, and it just led up to that. I don't know.
Again,
I'm just guessing.
Psychopath behavior. What you're describing is psychopathic behavior.
Yeah. It sounds kind of crazy. I guess last question. This isn't a question from anyone here. I guess we can answer that one next. But a question I just want to get in before this is done is, how the heck are we going to get pizza with Russ? Do you think Russ will ever get pizza with us?
That's
The most important question.
dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think he wants anything to do with any of us. Like, I don't think he wants to see us, hear from us again. But
Off the property.
when they're like, we don't give up. That's the thing. He's getting pizza with us.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. We have told his moderators that is the final thing of our video. It's just get pizza with us, and we'll move on to. I literally told him, I was like, "Yo, I'm really actually curious in the aliens right now. I would do a whole series investigating the aliens because I feel like that's way bigger than Mckamey Manor, but I can't move on to the alien subject until Russ gets pizza with us. It'll be a 3-minute dinner. We'll buy the pizza. We don't even have to exchange conversation. We literally just want to eat pizza with him." And they still said, "No, we would rather have you keep making a video every single week, a hit piece about Mckamey Manor, because that's how much Russ does not want to get pizza with you."
Insane.
Like, he doesn't have to say one word. We could literally just be like this. Like, that's Russ. Ben and I are right here, and we're just
Yeah. We can not even
Pizza-
talk about Mckamey Manor. I can just be
This
like, hey.
pizza's good, huh?
Yeah. We're like, hey, how's that pepperoni taste? That tastes pretty good for pepperoni, right? That's what the conversation can be about. And then we'll move on to the aliens. Mckamey Manor will just keep existing, I guess, and we'll move on to the next thing. But for some reason, Russ doesn't want to do that. And I genuinely can't figure out why. And I'm curious to see what you guys think of why he won't.
Dude, honestly, again, I think it's just his pride. He's too prideful to concede any amount of anything at this point in
But
time.
I
because-
disagree with you, because I think what would be more prideful of him would be to get pizza with us, because we claimed in our last video that once Russ gets pizza with us, it will be the end of Mckamey Manor. So if he really wants to prove us wrong, he would get pizza with us and Mckamey Manor would still exist, because he'd be like, hey, I beat Reckless Ben
I don't
at that
think he's
point.
that smart. I don't think he's that smart. I think to him, getting pizza with you guys because you changed it in the contract he sees that as him like losing.
But him
he would
getting
see that
pizza
as
would
losing.
actually be a win, because then we leave, unless he thinks it somehow. The only logical explanation, in my opinion, of why he wouldn't get pizza with us is because he genuinely believes in his heart that once he gets pizza with us, Mckamey Manor's done. And so that's why I think he won't do it, because I don't think he knows how pizza could take down Mckamey Manor. And to be honest, I don't even think pizza can take down Mckamey Manor, but he thinks it is because I said so. I think he believes everything I say because I've gotten in his head this much. And I think
I
that
believe it. I believe it.
because if Russ was actually trying to beat us, he would get pizza with us. I would pay for it, so he wouldn't lose any money. It's not a monetary thing. I would pay for it. Plus, pizza's like $5 at Little Caesars. We would move on to the next series, and he would have beaten us. That would be our defeat at that point.
I don't think he sees it that way. I think he's too prideful for it. I think 100% he's like, if I do get pizza with these guys and do what they say, because you guys are saying, hey, let's get pizza and we're done, then he's going along with what you're saying.
I am dedicating
all or nothing guy.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm with
dedicating my whole life to not stopping
Yes.
until Russ gets pizza
Yeah.
with Ben and I.
Yes. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I want to have pizza with this man.
But it doesn't make sense, because it is like he wants this to be over so bad. Like, these videos could just make it so that way no one ever goes to Mckamey Manor. I literally said I was going to sign up a secret agent every single week until he gets pizza with us. He will not be able to operate Mckamey Manor ever again until he gets pizza with us, and he's still not doing it. So I don't know at this point. It's very confusing of what his mentality is. It seems like it's not even us that's hurting him anymore. It's like him who's just stabbing himself at this point is what it feels like. But I don't know. I am interested to hear what you guys, I'm interested to hear what you think, Ian, because you're kind of like probably the voice of the audience right now, you know?
I'm spending the whole time distracted watching the comments. I gotta get on the Wi-Fi because the live is apparently rocky. So I apologize to everybody watching on my iPhone 11.
I think that's your fault.
It's on me.
Opinion on it.
I feel like out there in Tennessee, he's just like, he's an all or nothing guy. I feel like to look at it, I mean, what you're suggesting is he sit back and look at it purely logically, like, wait a minute, this weird thing that I love to do, you know, spray water in people's faces, make them roll around in the mud and humiliate them. I love this. And like, this is at risk now because of the reach that these videos have gotten.
And he can end that risk in 10 seconds by eating pizza with us.
That's what I'm saying. But that's
just kidding. It wouldn't be 10 seconds. It would have been 10 seconds. We had the pizza literally ready for him. But yeah, now he didn't take that opportunity. So now we have to go back, and it'll take
going back
2 days now. But yeah, in 2 days it could be over with. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, to him, an inch is a mile.
Yeah.
Like, to give in a little bit to you guys is, even though the haunt would keep going and you guys claim that you'd leave him alone, which, like, I fully believe because I know y'all got better things to do.
Well, that is the grand finale stunt. Like, every series we do a stunt. The stunt with Mckamey Manor, like, Danny was asking me, like, yo, what's the final stunt on Mckamey Manor? I was like, yo, let's just see if we can get pizza with Russ. And like, that is the final stunt, and we'll go as big as we have to go to get this pizza. But
I really hope Russ is watching this, dude. I really hope so.
Yeah, well, it would, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. And then because like, dude, I'm interested in the aliens, dude, because I see the aliens as just like Mckamey Manor. It's either
you know what that's another bargaining chip. Tell you what, pizza ends the series.
Yeah, it
Russ
does.
might be just as interested in you guys diving into aliens.
Oh,
yeah.
He'd become a fan.
We don't want to be doing this anymore.
He'd become a fan.
Well, this is the reason I think Aliens would be the perfect next series, because there's either one of two things happening. Right now, the military is fully convinced that they have found actual alien life. I think this morning they came out with actual bodies that
in
scientists.
Mexico, yeah.
So scientists from all around the world have studied these bodies and said they detected DNA from these alien bodies, but they're not related to the DNA of humans in any sort. So we have aliens. Like, everyone's convinced we have aliens. So either we found the aliens, or this is the biggest hoax in the entire. They hoaxed the entire science community. They hoaxed the entire government. They hoaxed the entire military. This would be the biggest hoax of all time, and we would be the ones debunking it. Or we find out the aliens are. It's kind of the same thing with Mckamey Manor. I went into it thinking this is either the greatest haunted house in the entire world, or this is like one of the greatest hoaxes of all time. And it's like all these, because like thousands of people have been through and none of them have come out about it. So he's either scamming all of these people and keeping them quiet, or it's actually the greatest haunted house in the world. And either way, I was like, this is gonna be a 6 series. So I think the aliens, we go in with the same attitude. It's like the aliens could be real, it could be all fake, but either way, we're either gonna be the first people to ever find aliens, or we're going to be the first people to somehow debunk this entire hoax.
Get your tinfoil hats. We're coming, aliens.
But either way, I want to keep an open mind. I'm 50-50 on whether the aliens are real or not. I went to Area 51. I was actually the one that led the charge, the Area 51 charge. I was the front runner. I had a giant plunger in my hands, and everyone was behind me, and we all ran, and we didn't make it into Area 51 because there was like 50 people that showed up out of the 3 million that signed up on Facebook. But yeah, I went there as a joke because I was like, oh, no way there's aliens in Area 51. But now that all this stuff's coming out,
they got some shit. They hide some shit in there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess today is the first day they've actually come out with proof of an alien. And everyone's saying like, oh, I'm not going to believe it until there's proof. Now there's proof of like literally like 3 hours ago, but of when we're recording this. But yeah, up until like now, I'd say I'm 50-50 now. I'd still, it is weird. Like, why do they have 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, a rib cage, 2 arms, 2 legs? Like, they're built just like humans, but they're derived from completely different DNA of humans. Like, think about like a dog shares 90% of DNA with us, but it still looks way more different than this alien does, you know? But then there's also the other argument that like, I think it's like convergent evolution, which is like, maybe the only way for a species to evolve to actually reach to outer space is they would have to evolve in a way like us. Cause like maybe a dog just isn't built to make it to outer space.
Well, not
you know?
only that, but I mean, the only reason all the organisms on Earth, share so much DNA with humans is because we're all from the same planet.
But then think about like how like octopuses are probably 99% more close to us than whatever these aliens are because we came from the same thing, and an octopus looks completely different from, you know what I mean? Like, how did the aliens look so similar to us, you know? Like, it looks made up.
When did you say they found? Or it was?
The Mexican government just released it like this morning.
If it wasn't for all these scientists coming out and saying it's definitely real, I would say like this is complete. Like, it looks like if you had to say, Ben, make up a picture of an alien, I would literally design you something that looked exactly like that. So it looks like someone made it up, but
we need to get our hands on those.
But it also
matches
matches up perfect with Bob Lazar's story, where he says the aliens are about 3 feet tall. And Bob Lazar was saying this like 20 years ago. Yeah. He was saying it was from what's it called? Archaeological find. His spacecraft that he worked on was from an archaeological find. These aliens are also from an archaeological find. He was saying the spacecraft was probably landed on Earth 1,000 years ago. These aliens are about mummified to be about 1,000 years old, is what they're saying. So everyth's matching up perfectly, but yeah, maybe there's like no flaws. That's what they want in the storyline, at least there's no flaws. But yeah, I don't know.
Let's get Bob on the phone.
Let's get Bob on the phone. Let's get Russ to get pizza with us so we can get Bob on the phone.
In Mckamey Manor, at least, it was easy to catch him in their lies because he'll say one thing and then he'll say something else to contract. It's like, okay, obviously this guy's lying. But like with the alien,
he said he went through Army boot camp, and I was like, "Aren't you in the Navy?" And he said, "You don't know what I'm in."
Yeah, like he's always changing his story. But with the alien thing though. The story seems to be very consistent. For the last 20 years, at least the credible proof seems to be very consistent. Is that the time?
That's an well,
hello?
I think we ran out of time.
There.
Come back October 15th. That's when my strike gets removed, which is when the next video will be posted. It's going to be at least an hour long. It's literally going to be like 4 videos put together. So like, instead of just doing a episode per week, I'm just combining them all into one. It's going to be a 1 hour long. The best video I've ever put on YouTube, 100%. Probably ever will put on YouTube. Is going to be October 15th. So mark your calendars, guys.